But welcome to One Mic, One Soul here live at the Kula Cafe in November. Yeah, give some love, man. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. He's on a character of hip hop. I got a poem that kind of relates to what my brother Mike was saying. I did not write the poem. It's by a brother named Black Ice, and it's called Truth. Okay, so if you're familiar with Brother Black Ice,
I'm familiar.
Yeah, so and this is like inspired me because this is how if I was a poet and I could express myself about the current state of our communities in the industry and hip hop and all above the external forces trying to dumb down and degrade our consciousness, these would be the words. So bear with me. You know, I mean, I'm a poet, MC, but just a man that's trying to make a difference. So here we go. Clean my chest out real quick.
Alright.
Gonna put a little bass. I'm trying to put my soul into the best of I can. So, hey yo, when you look at me and my brothers, what's your first impression? Does the sight of us leave you guessing, or do you understand the stressing, the aggression, the look of no hope on me and my brothers' faces, like the Lord overlooked us when He handed down His graces? You see embraces fall short on the numb tips of street entrepreneur fingers, still stuck in the walls of the project halls where the coke smell still lingers. External blingers is all we can be, because on the inside we giving nothing to shine on. And a record deal's harder to get than coke, so my brothers get their grind on. Cause the TV tells us, aim high, brother, make all goals lateral. But you see, that takes paper, so we don't have, so brother, put their souls up as collateral. Now some brothers reclaim them, some blame them, and make excuse to sell them. But when a brother goes from not doing to doing, what can you tell him? Not to be a brother? Man, I got to be a brother. That's how I pay my bills. And I'm gonna do that whether I gotta sling this coat or exploit my rhyme skills. See, America makes me an opportunist, and that at the same time they institutionalize you, so the fact that being a brother get big record deals, big money, and go to jail shouldn't surprise you. That's what lies do. You see, most of these guys do have raw talent, but just infantile education. So the business feeds you all the weed and ecstasy and a little bit of paper to provide some pacification. From all the frustration, they serve you. Meanwhile, they corrupt you. The perception of what is the real you. See, they taking all of our businessmen and giving them the mindsets of drug dealers. Took all of our messengers and made them rappers. Just flapping their jaws, afraid to admit their treason. Took all of our soldiers for the cause and made them killers for no reason. And being messed up, well, that's in the season. So if you're negative, you're positive. And if you're positive, you're called a hater. But I make control of my soul because I know it gets greater later. And I told y'all the last show, a brother is no hater. I just know what the truth is. Been intertwined in the pudding for about a year now, so I know where the proof is. See, it lies in these midtown Manhattan skyscrapers where the former hustlers like myself sign papers and pull off messed up capers like 16 infamous stars of the time. They got us chopping up and bagging and serving this stuff to brothers 16 bars at a time. See, the crime is undetectable to the feds, because in the heads of our kids is where the track is. And the music is so potent and straight to the soul, so it's much more addictive than crack is. Now the high is just an illusion, the lies and confusion. But to feel the rust just once, my young bucks will go through it. So in essence, they still flooding these streets with thugs, drugs, and killing. They just using the record labels to do it. Taking our hearts off these demons, putting us in limos, trying to mess up the divine direction. But young black men have been trained to chase money and women, so we fall victim to our own erections and beginning to convince ourselves we're on our way somewhere where we're not going. But ignorant is bliss, and brothers love this. Brothers take pride in not knowing. We not growing. Brother, I don't give a damn of how slick you flowing. If you ain't showing nothing to these kids or adding nothing positive to this earth. See, I'm Brother Rod. I've been destined to touch this world ever since I was birthed. So I'ma keep it real every single day of my life. And if you think it's a game, please, my brother, you need to think twice. So I had to share that, man. And I was asking, what can I express myself? And someone's always flowing through my mind. I see these kids each and every day. I'm just like, I ask myself, the divine being, what do I have to do to help these kids? Because sometimes even myself, I just feel so that is this even possible? When there's been so many great leaders before me who have shined to the grace of their ability, and the change has been so far in between. But I still don't lose hope, because I know I can do something. And the more I learn about this system, the more I learn about this matrix and this games that are being impressed upon our consciousness, I realize that I do have a power, and that's to change me. And if you're willing to take the time to listen and understand where I'm coming from, I promise it's going to change you too. And we got to start looking at all these systems that are put in place to dilute our consciousness and make us believe that we're something that we are not. But when you realize your heritage and where you come from, when you know thyself, understand your central nation environment you come from, And there's a book I read from Naeem Nakbar called Know Thyself, and one of the very first chapters talk about you could take a dog and an elephant and make them walk on two hind legs and live their whole entire life, generation to generation. Their whole entire family will walk on two hind legs. But does that mean that's not its essential nature? And when you take an African American out of their divine culture, take away their language, take away their tongue, their religious, spiritual practices, you have created a new individual. So yes, we are living a life a certain way, but that's still not your essential nature. And until you recognize and realize where you come from, that's when you're going to become whole again. But when you live under the instructions of the European that has divine and created this reality for you, you're going to be living life synthetic from their mindset. But to set yourself free, you got to know who you are and realize, like Mike said, we are the stardust from the first supernova exploding coming down to the carbon molecules that we are today. It's not a game, folks. We got to educate ourselves, man. And that's what I try to express with the passion in my heart each and every day. Know who you are at the deepest level. And I promise you'll find out something special. The God that they speak about, they talk about you. You know what I'm saying? And when you can open up your eyes and make that connection, there's nothing in this world that's going to stop you. And we all have that gift. It's just that we have to take the time to discover. So thank you, man. That's just my passion right there. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. I'll let my soul speak for a second. I'll come back in the... I like my girl in the back, yes. So here we go, man. How we feeling, folks? We feeling good. Yeah. So we only got a few more names on the list real quick. We got some storytelling first. We got 3 rows on this, so sometimes we forget about the right rows, but I'm coming back to you right now. Is there a Jennifer in the building? Jennifer, please come on down. Please give us some warm love as she gonna share a little story with us tonight. Another beautiful time here at Open Mic.
Thank you so much, sir. So, my name is Jennifer. Public speaking is definitely something I'm very super new at, so my insides are shaking, and I'm just gonna work past that. Sometimes I have flight of thought up here. So I just want to thank everyone that shared anything and gave me a moment to sit with myself, because that's not something that we remember to do all of the time, and I know how important it is for me to sit with me and feel what I'm feeling, because sometimes we get too busy to remember to just sit inside your purpose. I'm very recently coming to my purpose. I am that young lady that Micah spoke about in his first poem. I never knew my father, and I went seeking everywhere, in some really low places. So I have spent a lot of time in some really low places in my life. I don't revel in that. I actually am really grateful for the time that I spent in those places, because it gave me a strength that not everyone has, and I recognize that in me. And it gave me a point of view that helps me lift other people, and that's my purpose. I was pregnant at 16, 18, and 21. On my 16th birthday, my 18th birthday, and my 21st birthday, I was expecting a baby. And I was a mess at the time. I was going through a lot of things. So I struggled with addiction to food, addiction to drugs, gambling, shopping, men, looking for something outside myself to help me feel comfortable inside myself. And it's a long, hard fight. But the kids came out so good. You know, they say it takes a village to raise a child, and I believe that all the way to my heart. And my village is so mean that I have 2 kids going to law school next year. They are artists and activists and all types of Renaissance, beautiful, intelligent, strong Black people in a place where the world seems to just be beaten down on Black people all the time. The kids came out so good. My youngest baby, who I will refer to as my baby most often because I get caught up in the he, she, her, him of it all, is a transgender girl of color. And in the hierarchy of American society, that puts her at the very last intersection, all the way at the bottom. And we talk about young black men dying, and we talk about young black women dying, and we talk about the prison industrial complex and all of these injustices of the world. I, as a black woman, am not safe in a lot of places, right? And I recognize that from educating myself about the world that I live in. But I do have safe places to go. My daughter, as a trans black woman, does not have any such place. There is no place in the world that is safe for her. Being in love means that she might find someone that's on the down low that would rather see her dead than for anyone to know that he loves her back. And the police are not nice to her. And the black community is not nice to her. And the white community is not nice to her. She is something that nobody wants to accept or believe or feel comfortable with. And she has been who she is her whole entire life. The minute she was born, I've always said all her life, the minute that she was born, she came out in this fantastic glow of rainbow glitter. And something in me knew that even though when she was born, they said it's a boy, I knew that she was a girl. I knew she was. I thought she was gay or just an effeminate boy, and people told me to beat her, to make her stronger and put her on the football team, even though she's been wearing my high heels since she was this high. I knew that there was something, and whatever it was my baby. And that's just what it is. It's what it's going to be, and I don't care what the fight is going to be. And fortunately, my village was also accepting of who my baby decided that she was going to be from the minute she came out here. And there is no title that can contain her. But there's no place that she is safe. And it is the scariest world out here. Like Law and Order SVU, the last episode, right, was about a young trans woman that was in love with a black man that would rather see her dead than to admit that he was in love with her. And that is real. It is real. Every boy that my daughter dates, I'm side-eyeing. Like, does your family know? Do you know? Do you know who you are before you put yourself in the life of my baby? Do you know who you are? Because you have to be a real secure person to love somebody that the entire world tells you not to. The most beautiful moments of my life have been with my children, and even though I was battling all those addictions and my village had to take over sometimes, I remember when she was 4 years old and I asked her what her favorite color was, and she said, the rainbow. And I was like, I told you, because I knew something, but I didn't quite know what it was. And I remember when she was 9 years old and she told me that she was bisexual, and I was like, you aren't any sexual at 9 years old. What are you talking about? But she was looking for the words to define herself, because our society tells you that there is a set of words that tell you who you are. You are a man, you are a woman, you are a black woman, you are a Latino woman, you are some set of words that people need to define you with. And it's just not the case. I understand now that that is social construct. That social construct tells you what you are, when in fact we are all very much more the same than we are different. Part of my mission against all the injustice in the world, because honestly, I would put on my marching shoes and try to change any injustice that I have learned about thus far, and I learn new ones daily. And I worry about them, and I stress about them, and I cry about them, and then I meditate over them, and I find my place in them and what I can do about them. This one, though, is the most difficult one. The one where there's nowhere in the world I can go with my baby that people don't stare and judge, not even just her, but me, for allowing her to feel comfortable in her skin. So that's my story. And to that end, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, the Trans Day of Remembrance for Asbury Park will happen at the Paramount Theater on the mezzanine. And we will be talking about, all of the trans women that were killed this year for being comfortable in their skin, because we're not comfortable seeing them in the skin they're in. They are the most murdered population on the planet. Trans women of color die at the hands of other citizens and police more often than any other population on the planet, in every country, everywhere. And it will be about an hour long, and we will be reading the names of all the trans women that we could identify, because I need you to understand that most of the trans women that die alone and nameless, with no one to mourn them. And we will come together tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, the Paramount Theater mezzanine, to mourn them and respect them and bring awareness to who they are and say that they matter. And thank you for listening.
Okay, you gonna come in. Oh yeah, we go like in here, big. Sometimes we go back and forth. So we'll be up in a little bit. I ain't gonna forget about you. Everybody, please give a nice warm welcome and some love to Jennifer. And she tried to tell us she wasn't a public speaker. I don't know. But it's real, man, and I think that's beautiful, man. The power of unconditional love. You know what I'm saying? Loving without conditions. Regardless, we could be separate races, colors, or creed, gender, sexuality, but all that matters is, can I understand where you're coming from? Can I appreciate your journey where you came from? And I think that is powerful. And for being a mother and going through the struggle, I want to know, at what point in your life did you realize that I need to change my life? You know what I'm saying? And what was that motivation behind that to make you realize that I need to make this change, not just for myself, but for my children? I like good questions. I like to see the soul.
Okay, well, first things first, you can tell your children whatever you want to tell them, whatever you believe is the truth, but they will do what they see. And that's just the fact of the matter. So knowing that my children see me, no matter what I'm trying to show the rest of the world, no matter what I'm trying to show them, they see me from the inside out. Literally from the inside out. They're the only people who have literally seen the inside of me. You can't hide anything from them. So at some point in my youthful indiscretion, I decided that it was super important for me to just be honest about how I got to where I was, and all the low places that they saw me in were real places that real people end up because of decisions they make. And these were the decisions that I made. I'd prefer for you not to make them, but I can't tell you what to do and what not to do. I can only tell you that this is how I got here, and I know for a fact that this is not where you want to be.
Yes, yes.
But as low as I went the one thing that my kids always got to see, no matter how many times I ended up low, and coming out of rehab is low and going back to rehab is even lower, right? But they never saw me give up. They never saw me stop educating myself. And if all else fails, you can find an answer in a book somewhere, so keep reading until you get there. Just keep picking up books. If Angela Davis can't tell you, I don't know who can, but there's an answer for every question as long as you're willing to look inside.
There you go. Amen. Awesome.
Let's give it some love one more time, man. That's what we're here for, man. It is the journey. I always say nothing is good or bad. Everything is necessary part of the experience to help us grow and evolve. And when you can gain that, remove that duality and see things as one, you can surely bust. So that's beautiful to have a strong mother such as yourself. Moving along here, let's get things stretching. We got next up on the microphone singing the Rev LC from Church and the Hood. Who that be? The Rev LC. Let's give him some love as he steps on stage. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
Woo! My God, my God. Jesus. Woo! First thing I want to say is I'm Reverend LaDonna Clark, the Rev LC, aka Lady Jam. The Jam stands for Jesus Anointed Me. And I want to take you back to Crush Groovin', da 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 da. Because I performed live on stage at the Roxy in Manhattan years ago with some people you may not know. Let's see, the real Roxanne, not Roxanne Shante, but the real Roxanne, who was the Hispanic Roxanne that came out. And then also Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and some of you may remember the Force MDs.
A little bit.
Those of you who don't, it's another generation. I came and tell you I was there when Rapper's Delight dropped on the radio station in New York City. I'm from the streets of New York. And I was there. I used to bring, I went to radio, I did radio broadcasting, and I used to bring Run DMC on stage, Salt and Pepper, Heavy D and the Boys, the Fat Boys. I interviewed, the Club Nouveau. Look at all those rumors, they're finding me every day. Okay, so I'm just trying to, come on now, ooh, hit it, but anyway, so what I'm saying is, when my brother Mike, and I know Mike is a very talented young man. He's traveled with, my ministry's called Church in the Hood. Church in the Hood, the hip hop for life, Jesus, justice, and community street movement. And I'm looking forward to coming back to Asbury Park, because I was here, my God, at the West Side Community Center some years ago. I used to do a broadcast on the air for like 4 years. And I used to be on the streets at the West Side Community Center back in 1998, 97. I was here. I was fighting a good fight right here in Asbury Park. And I'm looking forward to coming back. But I want you to know, everybody that spoke tonight, everybody that shared while I was here and what I heard, it's a necessary conversation. But let me tell you something about the election. It's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for everybody. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you're from. It's a wake-up call. We all got to get on our grind. Because for us to allow this to take place, we got a lot of work to do. Because there's no black woman, no black man, no Hispanic, and now we know not even a white woman that could get away with what has been gotten away with, okay?
Wow.
So we got work to do. If anybody would have been as disrespectful as this president, they would have never even been on the campaign trail. Nope. So it comes to something called white privilege. And understand what I'm saying, because I have wonderful white friends, and I have people who've been wonderful to me that are white. So I'm not talking that's not what I'm talking about. That's not for all white people. So I want to characterize that right, okay? Because white people have been on the front lines. Let me tell you, I felt the spirit of Harriet Tubman not too long ago, because I'm hooking up with friends, First Presbyterian Church up in Cooperstown, New York. And when I was there, I felt Harriet Tubman's spirit say to me, let them help you. This is what happened. There were white people that helped me on the Underground Railroad. And then Dr. King came to me and said, I couldn't have done what I did if white people and others didn't help me, if the Quakers didn't help us. So a lot we do have to learn. But with all that said, I'm not going to go on, but I just feel your spirit. I feel your love. I feel your commitment. I feel your pain. I feel your anger. I feel, we've got to stand up. We've got to help. And the kids, my brother, have always been my first concern. Because the first years of my life from 6 to 22 was a living hell. So anything that I can do to help young people, I've been doing. And I would love to connect with you and be an extension, okay? It's just, Jesus, my God, my God. And also, Church in the Hood is to bring the message of God, the gospel, but also people of all faiths together, because that's what hip hop has done. It's brought a whole bunch of young people, and I'm third, fourth generation of hip hop, so we can all get down at my church. You feel what I'm saying? Not my church, but my ministry, my movement. We can all come together and do what we need to do. So whenever Church in the Hood is in town, the movement, whenever I'm in town, and whenever you need something, if you need to call me, and I don't care what faith you are, I don't care what your culture is, but I don't care. And my sister Jennifer, my God, Jesus, hallelujah. I've had to fight racism as being black. I've had to fight as a woman in ministry for over 30 years. I've had to fight as a black lesbian Christian. For so many years they tried to spiritually castrate me, but like Miss Celie Whoopi Goldberg in the Color Purple movie, I might be black and I might even be ugly, but one thing is for sure, I'm here and God and Jesus love me. Stay in touch. Work to do. Got to fix that safe place thing. Work to do. I ain't scared. Ain't been scared, ain't gonna be scared. Cause I'm a streetwise Christian and I'm heaven bound with my homeboy Jesus Christ, yo. You know I'm down, I'm kicking demons in the face with my spiritual words. Cause the power of God gives me plenty of nerve to serve the devil's helpers with the dispossessed. Hands off the lost sheep, I rebuke that mess. The devil tries to tear down all that is good, but now I got them running scared from this homie from the hood. Why? Let me tell you why. Because the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. Anointed I stand to preach and free the poor, the homeless, even the brokenhearted. But wait just a minute, cause I'm just getting started. Do you remember where Jesus was born in the Bethlehem hood in the manger, y'all? You know his parents, Mary and Joseph, didn't even have a crib, cause they were on the run like spiritual fugitives, trying to get away from Herod the shyster, who was looking for baby Jesus just so he could ice him. Just like Herod was on a rampage way back then. Oops, inside your head, my brothers and sisters, Herod's loose again. But let it be known, in Christ you got the friend and the brother, a sister, cousin, father, and a mother. And if you don't believe, let me kick the hardcore fast. Take it from me, Spirit of the Lord is fat, fat, fat with justice, fat, fat with peace, fat, fat with agape love that'll knock you to your knees and make you say, please, 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 Lord, save me. Please, Lord, save me. God is in the hood. Tell your family, tell your neighbor.
Everybody, please give some love one more time for Rev C, man. And I think that is beautiful. And I just really want to point out, emphasize, like, you can see the essence that comes from the verses that she speaks. And that is coming from one of the original places where hip hop first started. And you compare that to what you see today. You know what I'm saying? Speaking the message with a purpose and speaking the message to bring people together, you know. And I don't think I've ever met a reverend and a rapper within the same time. And that is a very unique. So I want to just know, how did that come to be? Was it a rapper first, a reverend first, or how did they blend together and become a part of your essence and being?
Praise the Lord. Take you back one more time. I was at the club one night, 200 people waiting for me to perform. And, take you back. I had my beater jacket on. and I was getting ready to go on stage. So that means I've been drug, alcohol, cigarette free since 1985. And God did it, but I was high. I had snorted cocaine, I was smoking weed, I was drinking Brass Monkey, vodka and rum, I was had mescaline in my system. I was probably gonna die that night and OD. And I'm sitting there in my dressing room, you know, because you can get all that stuff for free when you're a celebrity. I was on radio, and I had brought Luther Vandross on stage, and all these other people, whatever. So the bottom line is, I heard this voice call my name. And I said, I'm high as hell. I'm here. What? So, as the next time the voice called my name one more time, like Samuel in the Bible, I got up, I started checking closets and stuff. I said, wait a minute, I know I'm in here by myself. But I said to myself, I said, you know what? If it called my name one more time, I'm gonna listen. I listen to everybody else, and I'm gonna do what it say. So the voice said, no show tonight. You'll be back, but not as you were. Had I stayed at the club that night, I believe I would have OD'd and been laying next to my two brothers that I buried from heroin. The voice called my name. I listened, and everybody said I left the club with a smile on my face, and I looked up, and the voice told me to go home. So I went home, and that's where we did Battle for My Soul in my apartment, and I took all the drugs I had left, and I poured them down the commode, and I flushed it, and I kept listening to that voice of God. I kept listening to that voice of God. So I'm in ministry not because of what I heard, not because of what I decided to do, but because God came and got me, saved me, talked to me, told me who God was, why God was, you know, and told me, now I want you to go out. Sent me to Austin, Texas, St. Louis, Missouri, Louisville, Kentucky, Huntsville, Alabama, Atlanta, and I had to pick up literally and move to each one of these states to speak to brothers and sisters in prison, to speak to brothers and sisters at churches. But because I'm also a black lesbian Christian, I got no help from the church, white or black, and they all tried to shut me down. They all tried to keep me down, if you want. But I just kept pushing through. I kept pressing through. I said, no, because you were not there at 2 o'clock in the morning when my life was saved. You were not there. You did not tell me who I was and what my purpose was. I know I got a purpose, and God said, we're gonna flip this. We're gonna use your music, and we're gonna flip the script. Yes. And that's when God did it. And I started doing positive message music, whether I'm singing, whether I'm rapping, whether I'm playing the bass, playing electric guitar, whether I'm dancing, whether I got bass in the speakers.
All right.
Give it up for the Rev LC one more time, folks, man. One more time. We holding on, people. We holding on. 3 more performers, I promise. We doing a great job, man. The soul is powerful in the building tonight, man. Just want to check in to see, is Abe in the building? Yeah. Abe in the building, yeah, brother Abe. It's a newcomer, so we gotta give him some warm love and a welcome. And brother Abe, he is part of the Bald Brotherhood, so give him some extra love. I got the hat on, because I ain't shaved my head quite. I got a bald head too, but I ain't shaved my head.
Oh, that's really purple. Purple.
Just look that way. You
oh,
like
man.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. You gotta lower it down.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not as tall as you. That's really good.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Brother
Yes,
Rodney. Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
First of all, I just feel the love. I really feel the love, and I am in awe of being here. And Jennifer, I can't see it because of the purple light. You are brave.
Yes.
You inspire me. You are brave, and I know that we're gonna be okay because Amir, I think you're here, right? Amir and Carla, who's not here. I know we're going to be okay because of Amir and Carla. And I just want to acknowledge the work Brother Rodney, Brother Michael is doing, because this is the continuity.
Yes, it is.
It is the continuity, you know? And so I have a couple of poems, and the professor talked about vulnerability earlier.
Yes.
And it's something that, for me as a male, it's something that I've struggled with and still is. A good part of my life is very peaceful. I've been meditating for 30 and some odd years, which is really awesome. It's really cool. You should try it. because the happy spaces, the peaceful spaces, they do come. And when there's anger and when there's turmoil, you're in the eye of the hurricane. It's very peaceful in the eye of the hurricane, and it does not matter. And it's a wonderful, 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 loving space to be in. And it's not just the words. It really, you'll feel it right here. And that this is really where these poems are coming from. The first one, I just titled back over there because there was no title, you know. But it was inspired by the professor because she was talking about vulnerability. And I called it bubble wrap because sometimes I feel like there's a bubble wrap around me. I am realizing I do not love as deeply as I could, or as expansive as I could. I see the armor I thought I built to protect me, and I'm realizing that I built it to prevent me, and questioning even the wisdom of armor building. I have become a master craftsman of elegant phantom structures of constricted, insulated spaces. I have engineered an elegant dam crafted with caution, chiseled with selective conclusions, adorned with hieroglyphs of hubris. In the final analysis, a dam, no matter how elegant, is just a dam, arresting the flow of soulful waters. In the final analysis, I am not that master builder that I thought I was. I am more powerful. I am the fervent flow of gentle waters that dismantles the dam with tenacious torrents of an awakened heart and a grateful soul. I am more powerful. I know this because I am you. Thank you. It's not really a poem, it's kind of ties in. And it's about self-love, because I believe that everything emanates from self-love. Yeah. Things can happen to you. The world can be against you. The structures may be against you. But if you have self-love, reality is negotiable. You can create reality. It's very powerful, and it's not a selfish thing. Because when you're quiet, and this is what I discover in my meditations, is that when you're quiet, you'll hear the voice. Yes. With all the stuff's going on, you got to be quiet. You got to hear it, because it's a whisper, and you have to be quiet. The only singular endeavor worth pursuing is excavating the love that is the fundamental core of one's being. For when one arrives at this place deep within, all the maladies, all the problems, all the hindsight analyses, born of regrets and guilt, all of them just melts effortlessly from the scintillating radiance of igniting that love. Self-love is ground zero. It is the primordial seed of a created and an empowered life. It is the singular state from which all outer expressions emanate from. Know it has always been about you because there is no other. And that other has always been you. And all has always been God's. Thank you.
Everybody clap it up. Give some love for Brother Abe and his president coming out here on the microphone. We're going to speed things up. Got a couple points left. Getting a little late, but it's not too late to share some soul and express some love. But this young brother wanted, he's like, when is my turn to speak? And I was like, the young king, he going to be up next. So everybody please give some love to the rap king. As he steps up on stage, he's going to express a little bit of his soul. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Michael. A few minutes before my dad was performing, I'm very proud of him for that. And he's been allowing me to do this for somewhat 3 years. So I hope you enjoy. They say I'm young, but my purpose is an inspiration of the nation. Innovation till I change the talk into a conversation. I'm like a doctor and my patients are anxiously waiting, healing all the hating, that faking and the perpetration. It's hard to live up to these expectations that I'm facing, and gave me admiration of an older generation. That's why I'm pacing back and forth, contemplating, meditating. Gotta use what I've been taught as a positive force.
See, my man said, hold up. Put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name. 3 years rapping. And it's beautiful to see this father-son connection, man. Seeing the essence of this father being passed on to the soul of his son, and eventually he's gonna be greater than that. You know what I'm saying? And not in the negative, but that's the goal. Yeah, man. I'm passing on. I'm just setting the foundation for you to evolve, and then for the next one, each one teach one. So I just want to know, man, how does rapping make you feel? How does rapping make you feel, brother?
Makes me feel like that's my home.
That's your home. Oh, yes. And let your voice be heard, because especially I can only pray for your generation. And as long as they got a voice to remain strong, to remain that aware, let that voice be heard. And don't let anyone tell you that you're not going to be great, because that is powerful right there, brother. Thank you for that. The Rap King. Yes. Next up on the microphone, we got this young brother that's coming from doing an event in the community, also shows some love and support coming through here, is a powerful speaker and has an excellent organization. Please give it up for brother K.Y.D.S from Epic Willpower. Clap it up. Yes, sir.
Oh my God, this light is bright. How y'all doing? As some of you know me as I'm K.Y.D.S Barnes. I am from Epic Willpower. Recently, they actually gave me the New Jersey chapter for United Spinal Association, so I'm the president of that association also. Wow. I was just at this community center. I looked these kids, a lot of these kids in their eyes, and it just really made me think about a lot of things I've done in my past, and I'm still fighting demons in my past. I was a bad guy out there, very bad guy. Went from selling drugs to out there shooting, trying to kill my brothers, and people that I grew up with, all that stuff. I was doing the things that these guys are doing out here now, and it hurts me to know that I actually was a part of this that's going on now. And I try my best and strive every day and try and put a stop to this violence and everything that's going on in this community. I sit back and think about actually me going to jail and being incarcerated and actually understanding why I'm there. And once I got a better understanding of why I was there in mass incarceration, it changed my life for the better. I went to jail for leadership, for actually having a organization doing negative things in my life, and now I have an organization doing positive things in my life. So I'm definitely proud of what I've become, but I know I still have work to do. We all have work to do. And I was sitting back just thinking about actually they're electing Donald Trump as president and all this, and I don't mind them electing Donald Trump as president, because a lot of us need to wake up, and like she said, it's definitely a wake-up call for all of us, so we can get an understanding of the world we live in and why Kaepernick actually takes a knee. We need to understand all this and what's going on in this world, and definitely our community where we live. what we need though, if we need these organizations and nonprofits and everything, everyone need to come together, because we all fighting for the same cause, and this is these babies. This is what we're fighting for, these babies, our future, our kids. This could be your son, this could be your cousin, this could be your mother, anybody out here actually going through this violence and stuff that's going on out here. So we gotta like have an understanding of that. You know, she was talking about hip hop and everything that's going on in hip hop. It takes us to try and stop this negative hip hop that's going on, because these kids, they feel like they're doing the right thing. They feel like they're rapping their lives, and this is the world they're living in. Their moms is on drugs or either running around here doing the most, and their grandmothers become their mother. This is the world we live in today. You know, the mothers are like the sister. This is the world we live in. You know, and these rappers, they think they're doing the right thing because of their circumstances. They like, you know what, I don't have anything else to do, and this is the world I live in, and y'all need to listen to this and that. And reason why people buy it is because they think they going through the same thing. But it take us, as well as these other people, to actually do something about this. We need to form some type of unity and come together and actually talk to these kids. When I was in the community center today, it was not that many people there, and it should have been more. We should have came together, whether you white, black, east side, west side. Everybody needs to come together, because those was babies in there, and them babies needed us. They really need us. All these babies need us. So, you know, we actually doing something at the barbershop tonight. We're supposed to go there at 9:30, and we're trying to reach out to all these leaders of the gang members that's out in this community, and we're trying to speak to them and ask them, like, why are y'all doing what y'all doing? Why are y'all trying to kill each other? What is going on that you actually got to kill someone you grew up with? You ate in the same house as this brother, the same house. You talk to their mother. You actually talk to these guys' kids and everything, and they're actually trying to kill each other. This is the world we live in today. When I was coming up, it's like we couldn't do none of this stuff. Like these 5%ers, a lot of these 5%ers used to pull us up and try and educate us as best as they could. Like, oh, what's today's math? What are you doing with yourself? They questioned us to the point we scared, we shaking. Like, what is going on? But you know, they expected us to actually know our lessons. They expected us to, you know, actually have some type of education and know where you come from. That's not around this community today. Today it's like we don't have that, you know, guys pulling us up. We don't even have that too many communities for these kids to go to and actually to get some type of recreation. This is what we need to create, and we need to come together and create this. This is not something that's gonna, you know, come by and it's just there. Like, we have to speak. We need all our voices together. Thank you. That's all I want to say.
Everybody, please give it up for Brother Curtis from Epic Willpower. And I do agree, man, coming back to wholeness, you know, and it's just figured out how can we organize properly and bring these different organizations together, because we all fighting for the same cause. You know what I'm saying? We're all facing it on different ends, but realizing we can have that powers and numbers to bring us together to make that change a difference. I think that it's going to slowly happen, because they need something, man. There's a cry for help, and there's no solutions out there yet. But there's people sprouting up out from the ashes right now. We making it happen. So thank you for that. So before it gets too late, I forgot, me and Mike always be slacking sometimes, but we have this little beautiful Spider-Man jar, you know, and it says, "My city, my responsibility." And Mike picked it up, but it represents about saying that we all are part of this community, you know what I'm saying? It takes a village to raise a child, and we all have to realize, what role do I play inside of that village? Meaning, what gift do I have to give back to my village, my community, to help bring forth this change? Because we're all different, we're all unique, but we're all great. And when you find that greatness and express that with the divinity attached to it, that light is going to shine beautifully. And we have this little Spider-Man jar. It's a little donation jar, man. We take pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, dollars, 5s, 10s, 20s, 50s, 100. You got a $1,000 bill, we take that too, you know what I'm saying? But this path around support, everything we give to the community and these youth is absolutely free. You know, we've been getting a lot of support from a lot of people in the community, and it's been helping us maintain programming, free summer programming, feed meals, organic. All the things that we do is to give this back to the youth in the community so they don't have to worry about it. So we're going to pass this jar around. Brother Mike, you know, put a nickel, a dime. I'll take a penny. Anything is a blessing in return. And I do give my gratitude and thanks in advance before we go back into it. So, moving along here, final performance, we got this next young queen. She has been blossoming so much. I call her a young lotus because she is rising up above the murky waters and allowing the beauty of her petals to shine brightly to the whole entire world. Let's give some love for Miss Shaniqua New Buck. Let's give some love for the young queen. We go back like some high top fades.
Ooh, okay. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So, whew, I feel like there's so much, I don't know if it's so much I want to say, so much I've been experiencing, but I know over the last week I went down to Virginia to visit my best friend and, you know, just to get away for a little bit. And down there, naturally, she's been down there for about 8 months. I had the opportunity to connect with some of the people she was with down there. So, you know, meeting new people, good minds, positive thoughts, people who also like the idea of traveling. But something was really interesting. And these two, I always say, they are in my head, Mike and Rodney, all the time. But something about being around those people, as great as they were, just felt a little different. Like I felt a little bit out of place. And so I wasn't here for meditation on Monday, and I try to come every second and fourth Monday faithfully because it's a recharge. But when I came here today, you know, I realized something. I'm home. And, you know, it's just a beautiful feeling because here is where I feel like I belong and I connect. So that's to you guys, to everyone here. I love you all. So that's with that. So also there's been a couple of things we all know about the election. I was actually driving down to Virginia during the election, trying not to like crash a car because I was going a little bit crazy, but I was watching the election. I also watched on Netflix the documentary, The 13. Yes. So, you know, between that and the election, I was a little bit in my feelings, a lot of it. But, you know, just trying to figure out how to address all of that. I was sitting on it and I watched it and I was thinking about it. But at the end of the day, I was reminded that, you know, as long as we have love, nothing else really matters. Mm-hmm. So with that, I'm going to do a couple of small, quick things because it's getting a little bit late. The first thing I want to do, when thinking about all of this stuff, the 13th and the election, I'm going to do a little piece of a song, very, very tiny piece, Love. So, love, there's so many things I got to tell you, but I'm afraid I don't know how, 'cause there's a lot, Cause there's a possibility you look at me differently, love. So that's one. We have to have love. And the other one, go back in my old days, get a little religious, take it to church real quick. It's a really powerful song, regardless of what religion or whatever you believe or don't believe. Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eyes I know He watches over me. So, with that, again, it doesn't matter really what religion you are, whether it's Jesus, Allah, whatever it is that you believe in, there's always something greater watching over us. So no matter who won the election, no matter what you feel about black, white, privilege, racism, at the end of the day, there's a greater power, and we need to rely on whatever that greater power and that greater force is, because that's what's going to give us love. That's what's going to give us the ability to change. So, last but certainly, well, this last least, but I found a little poem. I had a really enlightening moment after meditating. I always get up here and say, listen, if you have not yet meditated, if you don't know what meditation is, please, 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 the second and fourth Monday, come here. Not only do these beautiful gentlemen meditate with you, but they also teach you so much about it, and they have so much knowledge. So even if it's like a little bit of an itch, like, oh, I think I know what that might be, maybe, please come. I tell you from personal experience, I'm very genuine when I say this, it has changed my life, learning to meditate. It really has. So, all right, here we go. This poem is called Unity is Strength. I don't know who it is by. I stare at man. All right, phone. I stare at mankind and sketch my vision. In this world, I see million of division. Some in the name of religion, some in the name of region. There shouldn't be this much difference, as God's love for everyone is immense. Everyone is same, no one is different. And in each and every one, God is present. The more we create difference, the more we degrade our essence. Oneness is the only way to success. Only togetherness can bring happiness. Every difficulty we can fight if every one of us will unite. Every problem can be solved easily, as there is immense strength in unity. Thank you.
Everybody, please give it up for Miss Shaniqua Buck as she shares her poem. And I just want to add to that second poem you said, don't forget about that greater power. That is a beautiful thing. And don't forget that that greater power is you. You know what I'm saying? And it's at the deepest part when you learn to be still, like my brother was saying, you quiet down the mind, you connect to a powerful, that's so strong that nothing will break you down. And these great masters are just trying to show you the way how to connect back to that space, but that power is inside all of us. 1, 2, 3. Yeah! I'm Ronnie Solomon. I'm Michael Mills. We're at Kula Cafe, and you're watching APTV.